Hello, guys. Welcome here to RezRootz. We here have this new episode of Alumni Interview. We have one of our alumnus. His name is Stephen Hunkup. He came to IBC. He came back to IBC my sophomore year, so it's pretty cool to get to know him that semester that he was here. But it was also cool just to be in the background as Emmanuel and Stephen were doing this podcast to see how much Stephen has grown. Now the Lord's been really using him and working in him and through him to at IBC, but also even after IBC. So in this episode, you're just going to be hearing a lot about how Stephen applied a lot of IBC classes and material and how that helped him in the future. So this is a pretty cool alumni interview. Hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys find it encouraging. Thank you.
Cool. Welcome back to RezRootz, everybody. We are so excited you are here to join us tonight, and I am very pleased to know we have Stephen Hunkup in the house with us today. Hey, Stephen, how you doing today?
Doing good.
Dude, it's so exciting to know that we literally just planned this yesterday. We're like, hey, do you want to be on the show? You're like, yes. And so now we're here, and I'm so glad you were willing to be part of it. Thank you so very much, man.
Yeah, yes. I was very caught off guard, but I was like, I could do this. I wanted to do it for a while, so as you know.
Yeah, I literally went up to him at church and I was like, hey, you want to come on the show? We need someone. Just kidding. No.
Dang.
No, I'm just kidding. No, we actually had you in the planning for quite some time. Even if you look at our whiteboard right there, I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's a whiteboard. We have Steven's name on there with the question mark.
That's cool.
Because that's how long we've been considering having you on the show. So we're making this episode all about alumni because if you guys don't know, Stephen Hunkup has been a past graduate of IBC. And when did you graduate?
May 2017.
2017, man. 7 years ago. Wow. Dang, 2017. That was, wow. Okay. But yeah, dude, I am so glad that you came onto the show. And for those who are watching, we're going to be basically talking about when it comes down to your time at IBC, your time after IBC, and what you want to speak to the viewers when it comes to them considering IBC and what they could expect, especially after IBC. So yeah, let's get started. So really quick, when it came to IBC, did you get your certificate, associate, or bachelor's?
So it's kind of funny because it took a while for me to graduate.
Yeah.
So I did 4 years. I got my associates. And I took a break, and I came back. Or no, I got my certificate because I failed a few classes and stuff. But then I took a break because I was burnt out from ministry and stuff. And I came back 2012. And I got my associates in 2013. And I took a break for about 3.5 years till from May 2013 to January 2017.
Oh, okay.
And then I felt God pressing on my heart to say, you should finish this. And I did. I met up with Daniel and talked about it. And then I prayed a lot about it. And then I had a really peace about it,
Yeah.
And graduated. That's where I met a lot of people. I went to MIT and all that good stuff. But through it all, one thing is God just showing me, hey, you need to finish this. I called you out to do. I got my bachelor's. It's a big deal. And then even though I'm not in ministry at the moment, I still apply the principles and what God's showed me through IBC in my life, whether it's my marriage, my job, relationships. So,
Man, all right, cool. Well, I appreciate that whole background, man. And so within that time of graduating, what was probably the biggest trial that you had to face before it came time for you to graduate?
Okay, so right when, 2017. Yeah. So I had a breakup right before I came back.
Oh, okay.
Or it was right when that first month when I came back, and that messed me up a lot. But God healed me from that.
Okay.
And now I'm married.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Been with my wife 5 years dating, 3 years married.
Nice.
And so that trial was hard just because, it's I'm so hard on myself with, I tend to put too much pressure on myself, similar to you, how I gotta finish this, but if I mess up, I totally put myself down and I overthink everything. Is why did I fail? All this stuff and
just beating yourself up, huh?
Yes. So
Yeah, no, I totally get that because it's not fun, man. And I think recently when I was reading 3D Gospel, I learned the difference between the guilt and shame. And so guilt is basically saying like, man, I made a mistake when shame is like, I am the mistake. Would you say you were in that area of shame?
Yeah, because one of the chapel right before we went to MIT was like an amazing chapel because we did one of the confession chapels.
Okay. Yeah.
And I just confessed a lot of my sins and a lot of stuff that's been weighing on me for years. And for me, I expected, condemnation, judgment. But no, from my IBC family and the staff, all the students, I got love, grace, and I could see God working there. And it was nice because I just felt like a ton of weight lifted off me and just a peace of embracing, God's love on me. And it's like grace. You can't can't explain it really. It's like just the shame, the guilt, all wiped away. Not causing an excuse for my sin, but like just saying, okay, God accepts us where we are, not who we want to be or should be.
It's kind of like giving you a blank page ready to start over again, huh?
Yes.
Yes. Man, I love that song. Man. So when it came down to graduating IBC and leaving IBC, where would you say what happened after that? Like, was there ministry? Was there work? What happened after IBC?
So after IBC, went straight to Broken Arrow, worked there, and I did that for the next 2 years, 2019. Did that, and I was working in between, just working at Del Taco and stuff and side jobs, and did that. But then went back to Broken Arrow and taking the principles I learned from IBC, applying it there, 2017, 2018, 2019, and then COVID hit and all that, which was, yeah. But yeah, ministry-wise, just doing camp, and then that was when that was right before you moved into the house.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that was like back in 2019. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know, I was Steven's roommate back in 2019 up till like 2021. Yeah, and it was actually a lot of fun. It was a blast, and we had cats, and I had my dog, and oh man, we had a blast, man. It was a lot of fun. I kind of missed those days, dude.
It's funny because he moved in that fall, and then COVID hit the next spring, and then like we were locked in the house, but we had cats and dogs, and
we basically became the cat people.
Yes, but it was a blast. Manuel was there, and then all this, and never felt lonely at the house and stuff, and
yeah, we were like just chilling. Like I would just chill in his room, or he would come to my room, or we would just sit in the living room. We're like watching Food Theory. We're watching like movies. We're playing games, and like we just had a total blast. Like we even had friends from IBC coming over, and like for an example, Terrence. We were playing Tekken on the PS2, the old school games, and then we also had like Kyle, who's a student here right now. We watched the WrestleMania. I forgot which one it was. But yeah, we had hot wings, we had pizza, we had everything. We went all out. It was so much fun. So it was like a great place to just hang out and like just a place to call home for that time. But sadly, the time came where the person who owned the house had to sell the house. So while you got married, you moved out, and then I moved out because he sold the house.
indeed, yeah.
And it was kind of coincidence because right when he sold the house and I had to move out, that's when I was considering IBC, and that's when I came like a month later, just came straight here. It was kind of like, talk about timing. Like the Lord called me here. The house is sold. It was like the Lord was saying, all right, you're coming here. So actually, now that I think about it, with the way how that happened for me, did that happen to you too as well? Like what led you to IBC?
So let's see. I graduated 2007. And then my mom was like, you should go to this college because she's been here before back in I think it was early 90s. And I was like, sure. I was nothing planned for college at the moment. So I was like, I'll just do Bible college for 1 year. I loved it. Did 2 years and then just, 4. And then, but, I procrastinated a lot. I failed some classes and I was like, I'm going to take a break. I was burned out from ministry, and did enjoy the times here, the small groups, the staff, all the student body, and just the sense of family here,
Yeah.
and how we accept each other, how God sees us, like this is how the church should be in like academic form, because, you still have that, but you still have the academic part, but you get to see, relationships. That's what IBC is all about.
Gotcha. No, that's awesome, man. And so when it came to that, would you say that was your most favorite part about IPC, or was there any other areas as well?
It was the relationships, especially not just that, but we get to apply that at the MIT trips because we get to build relationships with surrounding church community, whether on the res or out of state, just all these small places where we could make a small impact
Yeah.
in that little time we have. But yeah, so
But sometimes that small impact can be a first step for something big, man.
yeah,
And so with the MIT trip, where did you go?
let's see. First year went to Red Lake, out there on the res. Second year we went to, I think we went to Peach Springs.
Ooh, way out there.
Yeah, and then third year went to San Carlos.
Oh, okay.
My mom's res, so there.
Oh, that's right. You're San Carlos Apache, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I forgot
So-
to tell you guys on the viewers.
Well, I'm San Carlos Apache and Paiute
Okay.
from Nevada.
Oh, okay. Is it like half or?
Yeah, it's half, and then and in that too as well, I'm half Northern Paiute and half Southern Paiute.
Really?
My grandpa's Southern Paiute, my grandma's Northern Paiute,
Okay.
so I have like in there too.
So it's like half San Carlos Apache, half of the North and South.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. I did not know that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, so the next question I got for you is outside of IBC, when it came to, I know you were talking about your relationships, you were talking about your marriage, like before all that, what would you say was probably the biggest challenge you had to face when you left IBC and you like enter, what we like to call, the real world?
The little Christian bubble we have here. Now, I think the hardest part is like out there, you're kind of on your own in the sense that like, no one's going to help you. No one's going to support you. That's like not your family or your close friends.
Okay.
And so when you're out there, you're working, you have to, build up those social skills with work, show up on time, and then you work with people, and then not all of them are Christians, so then you still show that light to them. And because I had a few coworkers be like, "Stephen, you're different. Why?" And they're like, "Oh, Christian, went to Bible college here in town," and they noticed it. It's kind of weird. Even right now, my job I have right now is a skills trainer for a judicial court. A lot of my kids or even staff be like, "You're different." And it's like, oh, is that my Christian showing us? Is that my Jesus showing through me, And, but yeah, in the real world, it's hard because you got bills to pay, you got insurance and all this, you got to pay rent and stuff, and you got car maintenance stuff, and you're like, it's just hard. But then when you have like IBC here, you have the family, you have the support, not just like emotional, but like spiritual too.
Okay. Yeah.
And so, but yes, the real world is hard because there's no, like I said, no support. There's no, family dynamic here. And you kind of know what you're doing. You're just working, and you're like, what am I working for? What am I doing this when you're not doing ministry stuff, Because ministry stuff, you're building relationships. Like for you, you're doing youth group stuff.
Yeah.
Or like if you're on the worship team, you're doing, music and helping serve the church. But the real world is not like that. They have like their own thing, and you got to work culture, you got to hustle, you got to do all this. And not saying that's bad, but you don't put your identity into those things. And then work's good though, because it gives you, God made work for us to, to give us purpose, to give us, so we're not stagnant, we're not, lukewarm, as they say.
Yeah, exactly. And, with Genesis too, I also talk about how, God provided that work for us, especially for Adam when he was in the garden. But it was when sin that came in that we got that curse that work is now going to be hard and perishing. Yes. So, back to the Bible, everybody. You guys got to check it out. Genesis chapter 3 or chapter 4 was one of those. But when you were talking about all those trials and those challenges you went through, like what got you through all those things where you were saying like, you just felt like there was just nothing out of it. You just had no one to go to. Like what helped you in that time?
Prayer. And just, realizing that my faith is my own. It's not, it's not my parents. It's not my friends. It's not my family. It's my own personal faith and how Jesus, one-on-one with him. So through prayer and just, especially when, you were there too, at the house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then, but even when I was not at the house, I always, call my mom up once a week, and she's always been a big prayer warrior for me,
Oh, nice.
and just really supported me too. If I had issues, just call her, and her voice always like calming me down. Even my dad too. And so
No, that's awesome. Glad to hear that she was able to help you in that process.
yes,
Yeah.
and I had my brother down here too, which helped too before he moved back. So which is like a couple of years ago now.
Okay. And so, man.
It's like before I was dating my wife. Okay, so yeah.
So that was a while back, way a while back. Yeah. So when it came to prayer, like I'm really glad you emphasized that because we take that for granted, like how much it can do for us, honestly. And we can honestly see how, yeah, it really benefited you in this situation. Would you say?
Yes. Because, like, for me, growing up, I was always didn't want to rely on other people and all this. I could do this on my own. And then, coming here and be like, oh, this is what the church looks like a small glimpse, like what's supposed to be. Lean on each other, confess to each other. We're here, family supporting each other, not just like spiritually, but academically too. Just like, hey, keeping each other accountable. And then you take those principles from here and the Bible and apply them to your real life, which is hard because real life is hard,
Yep. Amen to that.
And there's prayer's nice because you could just talk anytime on a car ride,
Yeah.
just in silence, I could do that. And just, I need to pray more, Of course, everyone needs to pray more, but, it's just cool because God always gives us access to that.
Yeah. I remember one time someone told me, he's all like, Jesus is always on speed dial for you. He's always there. He'll answer anytime, anywhere, any situation. So, man, I'm really glad you were able to emphasize on that. Thank you so much. I guess the next question I got for you is like, when it came to all that, being able to use prayer as your way to get through the hardest time of your life, you recently got married about 5 years ago, you said?
No, dating 5 years ago, 2019.
Okay.
But we got married 3 years ago.
Okay,
Because
gotcha.
our anniversary just came up like about a month ago.
Oh, wow. Congrats.
Yeah, so we're on our 4th year now.
Ah, man. Yeah, congratulations to you and Rebecca on that, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. When it came to your time of dating, let's stick to the dating process first, and then we'll go into the marriage. Because,
Yeah.
like, I'm curious. When it came to that time, like, what was it that kind of made you, like, what were the things you had to go through when you're going through that dating process with Rebecca?
Well, so it would be my second serious relationship because I had one before, but that didn't work out so well. And so I was kind of like traumatized from it and like hesitant to jump into a new relationship, because between my first and second relationship, God was telling me, be patient. And then like what I learned from my first serious relationship, I applied to my second relationship. I understand that, you do realize when you're dating with someone, you get the honeymoon phase, you like everything about them.
Yeah.
And then usually about a year after dating, you start seeing their flaws, you start seeing their shortcomings. And then at that point, that's when you start choosing to love them for who they are, not because, we're imperfect. We make mistakes and all these small nitpicks we can pick at each other,
Yeah.
And like even before we, our first year of dating, it was nice because she would come visit me long distance.
Okay.
It was hard
Yeah.
because that was one of my first relationship. Long distance was a hard one to deal with. And then I was in a second long distance relationship, but luckily she was closer because she was going to GCU. Phoenix.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 2 hours away rather than like 6 hours. But yeah, so first year dating, getting to know each other, all this, and I met my wife at Broken Arrow, and that's a funny story how that happened. But
Wait, what was the story?
no, so Nick
Uh-huh.
Salazar introduced us because he
was going to GCU.
He's going to GCU, and he always holds this against me. He's like, I made you meet your wife. But she had nothing to do that summer. So she's like, Nick's like, oh, there's a summer camp we can go up in New Mexico. She was interested because she likes working with youth. And so came up, we met, but she was all shy. And then she's all scared of me for whatever reason.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she didn't talk to me for like half the summer.
Oh.
But then once we met at Riflery, like we started talking, getting to know each other, became friends, and then this is 2018, and then we started talking the whole year, and then comes summer 2019, we started realizing we had feelings for each other, and then we prayed a lot about it, asked others their opinion, I asked Dino too. You were there, remember?
Yeah, I do.
And
Yeah, if you guys don't know, we were playing frisbee golf, and he like walked away while we were playing, and he was on the phone for the rest of the game. And I realized later he was talking about her, and he was talking to Dino, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
And we started dating because I asked her. Well, we asked her on the beach, but she said, let's wait on it, let's pray on it. So prayer is a big part of our relationship.
Okay.
And as in the month after, so end of August 2019, we started dating. She came out, had our first day at the Grand Canyon.
Nice.
It was nice. But then it was good. And then, but there were, ups and downs, relationships, and then you realize how it's more in the marriage, how the closer you get, the more you realize how selfish you start to become.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because we did almost break up COVID summer 2020.
Okay.
But we prayed on it, and we're like, we want to be more serious. We want to do all this. And we did. And so that 2020, Christmas Eve, I proposed. Yeah, and then our wedding was August 2021. Yeah.
Yeah, and you did it in front of her family, huh?
No, I did it. Well, first I asked a couple friends, like the Templins or like Christian, but they were busy.
Yeah.
I wanted to do it on the beach because that's where we first
Met.
Where I wanted to. We asked her to, become my girlfriend and boyfriend, and but it was too busy. I worried about traffic, so I went to the mountains up there by San Bernardino, and up on a picnic area, you could oversee like the whole cities.
Oh, nice.
And I asked her there, and she said yes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it was on Christmas Eve too. So,
man, that's so. I'm just like imagining it right now. Like I can't help but think how amazing that time was right now.
It was.
Dang. If you guys look right here, we're just gonna have a photo right here. Yep.
But
yeah.
yeah. But I'm not saying relationships are easy. They're hard because you get to know someone, and the more you get to know them, the more flawed they become, because the closer you become, the more you get to see like their shortcomings, their mistakes, their flaws, and yet you still choose to love them.
Nice. I can't help but think like the perfect example of someone that loves us with flaws is basically Jesus, man. And it's kind of like, would you say it's like you have to put that into practice in a relationship?
Yes, even starting on the dating phase, but it's easier because you're in the honeymoon, But then when you start getting married, it becomes more so because you have like a roommate now. They're always there. If you're fighting or you get mad at them, they can't just leave. They're still there. You wake up next to them. You eat with them. You're always there with them. And you start getting each other's nerves and stuff, which is natural for any relationship, even friends. And you start becoming how selfish you are because you're like, they're always here. Or like, I want my own time. I want all this. And
yeah.
still get that little, but like, but every day you just fall more in love with them because you're like, you should continue getting to know them. We should continue pursuing them both ways, not just me with her, but her with me, and just cherishing those moments where, you look back on, you're like, oh, I remember that one time we did this. One time I went to like the Grand Canyon with Emmanuel and just small moments like that. And yeah, because busyness gets the better of us a lot, especially with working full time, two different jobs, and just doing all that.
Yeah, now that you guys are married and have your own house, like it kind of becomes quote unquote top priority in that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think like, would you say in that moment it's kind of hard not to put your identity in your job because you have all these things to pay for now?
Yeah, because mortgage, bills, car payments, but luckily both our cars are paid off.
Okay, congrats.
So yes, so we have no debt at the moment. So, and but except for our mortgage, but that's different. And you get so caught up in all the busyness and work, and You get exhausted from work, just from the jobs we do with people, pour out them, and then you come home, you're like, I just want to do nothing. And you could do that with your wife. That's the cool thing. You come back, you just enjoy each other's company. But, you still pursue them. You still get to know them every day, every night. Just, even those small moments or big moments. We both got 3 pets, they're amazing, And so
Yes.
the house is amazing. We love it. Get to, have our own yard, parking. We rented for like 2 years before we got the house. And I don't know, just it might have got a thing because the housing market's crazy and stuff. And
Yeah, it is. Honestly, when you said renting for 2 years, I was like, really? But I remember now. Yeah, I remember where you guys were at. You guys were really like, if you guys were still there now, you guys would have been overcrawled with In-N-Out fans right now.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool you guys got out of there just in time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, I think when it comes down to the marriage, you pretty much explained like the trials and everything you've gone through and like what you had to do in the time of going through that process with marriage as well. I think now when you talk about your job, like let's talk about that. What is it that you do right now again?
so I work for the judicial court for the county and the juvenile, and they have this place next to it called the Hope Receiving Center. And so I work in there, and I'm a treatment specialist, a skills trainer.
Okay.
That's my official title. So I get to help mentor kids on probation, teach them life skills. If they want a job, I help them with resumes and interviewing skills.
Yeah.
If they want to go to college, I can help prepare them for that.
Oh, that's cool.
So and then if keep them busy just so they stop getting into trouble, because when you're bored, you get into a lot of trouble, especially as a teenager. And so just doing that with them, teach them life skills, positive activities, or even social skills too, because I know all of them.
Okay.
Or even just being a positive role male model for them. Because, a lot of my kids, like 99% of them, don't come from homes or broken homes. They come from broken homes.
Gotcha.
Either they're divorced or there's only one parent. And so...
So is this kind of like in the area of like big brothers, big sisters, but in the probation area?
Yeah, because we do partner with them.
Yeah.
And but we partner with a lot of people here too, like companies and stuff in town that do very similar stuff. But yeah, it's very similar. We'd come alongside them, not just like tell them everything will be okay, but like we call them out too on there. If they mess up, like, hey, what are you doing? This is your probation stuff you got to do. Curfews. What's that called? Like drug tests and stuff, and
Okay.
they got to go to school. If not in school, you got to have a job. So it's all these little prerequisites that they have to follow.
Yeah.
And when they do break them, you're like, hey, what are you doing? You're not supposed to do this. And
Trying to lead, kind of like leading them back before they get even more deep in trouble.
yes.
Gotcha.
And, correct them and stuff and teach them accountability, responsibility that they're not taught a lot, especially with today's youth.
Oh, gotcha. So would you say anything from IBC that you have taken into work?
Yes.
That you learned or that you use?
Yeah, like relationships. How to build that rapport with them. And then as you build trust with them, when you do speak into their life, they'll listen.
Okay.
Because, all these people in their lives tell them, do this, but, or they don't have consistency in their life too because, single parent home, broken families, dysfunctional.
Yeah.
And, but when you're there consistently with them and they understand that and they start trusting you, you can start speaking in their life and say, hey, you got to do this, and they'll listen.
Building that trust thing. So it's almost like broken arrow all over again.
Yeah.
Got to take the time to do that. Man, that's awesome, dude. And so, I'm really glad to hear what you're doing at your job. I'm sure you love the job too, because I know you love working with the youth. You love working with the kids. So this is honestly in your field.
Yeah. Because my former job, I was working as an RA at the dorm.
Yeah.
And I love the kids there too.
Yeah, the Flagstaff dormitory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I love that job. But then I felt like I need to change jobs now because of whatever reason. And but then when I found this job back in December, I was like, I'm going to apply for it. It looks like something on my lane. I'm working with youth and stuff. And we applied. It took a while. Counties. Then once I got it, I loved it. Working with the kids, doing a program with them, Like one of the things we did was there's a ranch out south of Flagstaff that would take them, and they would do like farm work and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Feed the horses. Those pictures I sent you.
Yeah.
Feeding the horses, even picking up poop, or just even like cleaning the water bales and stuff.
Yeah.
Just small stuff like that. And most of the time, the kids loved it because you get to see the work they're doing. And manual labor is not always bad, you know.
Oh yeah, no. And honestly, it's like I'm not sure how to say it, but it just teaches a good sense of work, basically. Yeah, like, not all work is bad. There's actually a good reward out of it when you really put in the effort and elbow grease. Yeah, you just feel that sense of accomplishment too. So that's awesome, dude. And if I understand too, your wife also works in a field with kids too, huh?
Yeah, she works for behavioral health, CFSS, Child Family
Yeah.
Services, and very similar to mine. She'll help kids, mentor them, and she works more with special needs kids in her field.
Yeah.
And but she loves it. They do activities and stuff, and just a lot of them grow to trust her, and she trusts, or she cares for them. And it's very similar to my field too. So it's funny how both of us ended up in those fields because we do love working with youth.
Yeah.
So.
No, it's like you guys are like the double team for Flagstaff right now, and that's awesome, man. And so out of that, like with everything that we talked about, I guess the only question I got for you now is like for the viewers that are watching this episode right now, is there any encouragements you would like to tell them? Anything they should expect? Especially like, I don't know, maybe they left for college, or they graduated, or they're just in this process where they're in a new area where they have all this new knowledge and now they just need to put it to work.
Yeah, just like coming to Bible college is good and all, but just don't let it go to your head, which happens a lot of Bible college students, and learn to trust God and where He has you at your certain point. Because sometimes we have to wait for years, especially if singleness and stuff. Don't rush into it. Don't just allow God to heal you from if you have past traumas. If not, just be patient. That's one thing marriage has taught me, is patience a lot, because you're getting to know someone, then you marry them, and then you get pets and house, and just all this patient life comes at you like a avalanche. And patience is the one thing God's taught me a lot with marriage.
Man,
Just waiting on His timing,
It makes me think of those times where it's like, if you ask God for something, He will give it to you, but it's going to not be like, God, I want patience, and then He just gives you a whole lot of patience. It's like He's going to put you through things that will push your patience, but it will train you in that area as well.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, because it's kind of like what we're talking about in advanced discipleship. Sometimes we just need a resistance. It's kind of like workout. You got to push your muscles. You got to let them grow if you want to get bigger and stronger. So, I really appreciate that encouragement, man. And we honestly are just so thankful that you came onto the show today. That's all the questions I got for you, dude. Is there anything else you want to leave behind before we end today's episode?
Let's see. Don't have anything. Not at the moment, I don't think.
All right, man. Well, I think that's all we got so far. Thank you guys for joining us on the show. Again, thank you again for coming on the show. And we hope to either bring in more alumni people, or maybe even bring you back on the show. You never know. And so,
Let's do it.
And so, yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We hope to see you again on the next episode as well. And peace to all of you guys. Have a good night. Have a good week. Have a good life.